YouTube? This is Star Strike Duelist here for MultiMonster Deals to bring you guys a Shaddoll deck profile. Now, Shaddoll's got their release in Duelist Alliance, and they're definitely a very strong deck. I like it a lot. I brought it to my first real-life tournament with it yesterday. It was like a quarter case tournament, sorry, 3 boxes, and I thought the deck did really well. Obviously, there are like infinite amounts of variants you can run with the deck, so don't feel like you have to run this version. I just feel like it's been testing really well, and I wanted to share it with you guys. Sorry for the lack of videos lately. I went to North Carolina for a family vacation. I didn't have access to like record videos over there, and plus I was with family, so you know, I just took like the week off basically. But I am here back and excited to start making more videos. So let's go ahead and get straight into the deck profile. I'm pretty sure you guys don't want to hear any more of my boring updates. Another thing is I actually did upload a Duelist Alliance box opening like 2 days ago, but I had to delete it because I didn't realize that the last like 4 minutes of the video had cut off, so you didn't get to see like any of the good pulls, and I feel like it was just bad quality to have on the channel since the video wasn't even complete, so I had to delete it. So hopefully we can get another box opening up soon. But anyway, guys, we're going to start off the deck profile with 3 Shaddoll Beasts. Definitely one of the MVPs in the mirror, and I want to explain that because a lot of people are going to be like, oh, since it's a level 5, doesn't it clog? And the thing is, one of the most important things in the mirror match is not to leave your fusions out, obviously, because of Shaddoll Fusion's second effect that if you have a fusion out, then your opponent can use their Shaddoll Fusion to special and use materials from their main deck, so they don't have to use things from their hand or field. Sorry if I worded that confusing, like just feel free to reach Shaddoll Fusion if you didn't understand my wording. Anyway, the important thing is that you can go for your fusion plays, do whatever you need to, then you contribute off your fusion for a beast, so you have a set beast that you're able to abuse its effect with, plus you get your Shaddoll Fusion back from grave because your fusion was sent to the grave. So it's just a really good play, and I definitely recommend you maximizing your amounts of maxing out on the count of beasts in your deck because it's definitely like one of the MVPs. Then we run 3 hedgehogs. He's basically the Stratos of the deck. He searches out Shaddoll spells or traps, or when he's sent to the grave, he search by a card effect, obviously. All the Shaddolls get either a flip effect, and they also get an effect when they're sent to the graveyard by a card effect, meaning like anything that's not a cost, basically, kind of like the Dark Worlds. But he's the Stratos of the deck. I definitely think it's important to have 3 because opening turn, if you have like a lot of monsters in hand, you want to get your Shaddoll Fusions to start going into your plays. And he's just a really strong opening play to assure that you always have like a fusion in hand or something. So he's really good. Then we're moving on to 2 Falco. Falco's interaction in the deck is very important because it helps you maintain field presence. It's also a tuner, which is like extremely amazing. And I just realized that I put out a dragon with the second Falco instead of the second Falco. There we go, 2 Falcos. And you run so many levels in the deck. You run levels 3s, 4s, 5s. Just like there's like ridiculously amounts of levels that you run. So it adds so much versatility to the deck, and I love it a lot. 2 Dragon, he's kind of like the MST. He's also a Compulse when he's flipped face up. And he has a lot of synergy with Shadow Games, in my opinion, because you can use Shadow Games as like an end phase MST, which is really powerful because we don't main deck mystical space typhoons. And he's also a good beater of 1900. He's the strongest Shaddoll that you can normal summon without a tribute, so that's relevant as well. We run 2 Squamata, originally named Shaddoll Lizard. He's really important, especially for dumping Beast, because I run Mathematician over Armageddon Knight, and you can't dump Beast straight with Mathematician because it has to be level 4 or lower. And it's also a really good opening play if you have something like a Mathematician or Foolish Burial. If you don't have anything you want to do, you can dump that guy to dump a Falco. Falco will special himself, and then that way you have a play for next turn when it's flipped face up. So I think that's a really strong play as well. So they're all really important in themselves. I like the ratio a lot for this amount. You know, you can test your own ratios. As I said, there's a lot of different variants of the deck you run, but hopefully this works out for you too. Moving on to the non-Shaddolls, run 3 Mathematician. I really like his synergy with Felice. I also like his ability to generate you a +1 if he's destroyed by battle, so that's pretty cool too. Felice is not really dead in this deck. People say, oh, what if you draw it? You can't normal summon, much like the Lightsworn Wolf. However, use it to go into Construct with your Shaddoll Fusion. So the thing is, like, you need lights in the deck. Like, that's how you make Construct. So there's no reason why, like, I don't like Felice. Like, I think it's just a good card. Plus, it's a tuner on top of that. Not only does it special itself, but it's a tuner. So this plus this is an instant Black Rose or Arcanite Magician, which is just really important to abuse Arcanite in this deck. Like, it's instant removal, and it's just a really strong 1-card play. So I would like it a lot. Moving on, we run a baby dragon, a little engine here. We run 2 white dragons, 1 black dragon, and 1 eclipse wyvern. Now, at first glance, I thought this variant was pretty bad. Like, I'm like, oh, it looks awkward, you know, you're running too many different cards. But the reason why this card has these cards have so much synergy within the deck, because obviously these are able to be summoned super easily because you have like an infinite amount of darks in the deck. But then when he's sent, you can search out him, and he banishes eclipse wyvern in order to get your dark armed. Now, Dark Arm plays are really powerful in this deck. I think, like, you won't believe how many times I abused Dark Arm within testing. Like, it's amazing. And the fact that you can trigger Wyvern off of using it as a Shaddoll fusion material, or, like, just setting it, like, they think it's a Shaddoll, so they'll, like, try to, like, get rid of it without flipping it face up or something, and it just happens to be a Wyvern, so you get to banish that off of that. Like, there's just so many plays you can do with these cards, and the fact that they're all lights and darks for fusion is really good too. I also add a lot of versatility to the deck, and I think versatility is very important, so you can make more plays, especially in the mirror match. You want to be able to outplay your opponent, and they help you make cool things like rank 4s as well. They also trigger if they're used as synchro material, so that's cool too. Keep in mind, they have to be sent from field to graveyard, not just in the graveyard in general. And obviously the dad's amazing. 1 VLS, no need to explain that, and 1 Caius. Caius is very powerful in the mirror match. It's just really good removal in general, and as I said, I want instant outs to the mirror match because it's definitely going to be one of the most popular decks played. So Caius has been working out really well. I originally had 2 in the deck, but I had to cut it because of space issues, and also I don't want cloggy hands. Moving on to the spells, we run 3 Shaddoll fusion. No need to explain this. It's like a miracle fusion, and the fact that it triggers your Shaddolls as well is extremely powerful. Run 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Allure of Darkness because your deck is full of darks, and its draw power. 1 Mind Control. Mind Control is something that I was thinking about. It was originally in the side deck, but I figured, like, it's just a really good card because not only because of the mirror match, but because you run tuners. So, like, if you can take your opponent's monsters and, like, synchro with them, XYZ with them, it's just really good. Like, Mind Control is just a broken card in general. Run 2 Soul Charge. Soul Charge is a card that not a lot of people run, but not only is it, like, the best card in the game, I think in a deck that you run so many types of different levels and tuners and variety, I think it's just a really good card. Plus, if you use it at the right time, it just puts you back in the game. I have to admit there are times where I draw like double in my opening hand and it upsets me. But you know, that's like drawing double controller and mermails. You can't, you should not just not run it because you're afraid of drawing 2, you know. If you don't want to run it, definitely don't run it at 0. Like, if you're really going to cut it down to 1, I guess you can, but definitely keep the 1 in because it can make some awesome power plays. And then the 1 Book of Moon as a staple. Moving into the traps, we run 3 Shadow Games. The expensive card in the deck. We opened up a case and we only pulled like a couple of these. Like, it was ridiculous. But anyway, Shadow Games is... I can't even, like, I could write like paragraphs about this card. Like, it can be used, as I mentioned earlier, as an M-Phase MST. It can be used to make like any play you want. Like, if you need a Falco play, say you need to search out something with Hedgehog, you can dump Hedgehog. If you want to just draw 1, you can dump a Beast. Like, it just does everything for you. And then it flips up your Shaddolls as well, which is just a plus. Like, there's just so many plays you can do with it. Like, the possibilities are endless. 2 Vanity's Emptiness. This concept is kind of like similar to the Dragon Ruler concept. If you guys play Dragon Rulers, you can basically make like really good boards that your opponent can't get past, and then you just flip Vanities and you win because there's nothing they can do. A lot of people are also cutting MST from their main deck. At least I know Shaddoll players are, so they don't really play MST. So this can be really, especially in a simplified game state. Like, if you flip this when they only have a couple cards, then it's basically a game over. 2 Breakthrough Skill, really important against everything. It's really good against spellbooks, against like Blue Boy and stuff. It's really good against the mirror match because you can shut down any of their monsters when you want to, and you can use it twice. You get 2 uses out of it, like in case you want to shut down their like window or something on your turn. And then the 1 Compulse. This is really important too because the Shaddoll fusions won't trigger because they can only trigger when sent to grave, and this returns to the extra deck. A lot of people cut this card previous I guess I can't remember previous formats. I mean, just because a new box came out doesn't mean it's a new format, but before the Duelist Alliance, a lot of people were cutting it, but now I definitely think it's an important card. That's all for the main deck. Let's get into the extra deck. Run the 3 tokens. Always, every single deck profile has these 3 tokens. Run 2 Construct. One thing that I have to mention before finishing the rest of the extra deck is that This is not the ideal extra deck. There's about 3 or 4 cards that I would like to change, but I did not have access to them. I basically have the whole deck built except for one Winda. I only have 1 copy of Winda, but that's my fault. But I didn't want to proxy it, so I went ahead and built a full extra deck like with 1 Winda. Because obviously I brought it to a tournament. So this is not the ideal extra deck. I will justify and explain my choices in this one, but I also tell everyone at the end what I would take out for the ideal extra deck. So the to construct the Winda, there's supposed to be 2 obviously I said, but this is still a 15 card extra deck, so we have 1 right here. They're just your boss monsters. Like, everyone knows about them. He's basically like a catastor in a way, and he just shuts you down if you, especially if you have protection. But you have to be careful because, like, if they already have an established board, Winda isn't really going to do anything for you. Moving on to the synchros, we have Black Rose, we have Arcanine. Arcanine is, these 2 are just like super like easy to be abused in this deck, just because. Especially because of the Mathematician and freeze play, but Arcanine is just a great card. It's like instant removal. Same with Black Rose, is Black Rose. Moving on to the 6s, I don't know why we did the 7s first, but we do run Goyo, just a generic good level 6. Tempest Magician, you can use this to burn your opponent very easily. I won like 2 games off of Tempest, I believe. Run Spark because you run Vanities, so you can play the Spark Vanities protection game. And the 1 Leo because you do make it sometimes. I guess I can move this over now. Next, we run into the XYZs. This is probably where the most changes would take place, but I'm going to go ahead and show you guys. We have, where is it? Sorry, there we go. 101, 1 Exciton Knight, 1 Castell. Castell was released in the newest set as well. I like Castell a lot because it's really good in the mirror match because it shuffles the monsters in the deck instead of sending to the grave. So Castell is really good, and he has a pretty decent attack at 2,000. 1 Diamond Direwolf. My logic behind this was that it was instant removal for any problem cards such as Soul Drain, D-Fissure, and just Floodgates like Shadow Mirror and stuff. So I like that. 1 Dweller. Generic good. XYZ. And Pleiades because you run a pretty decent amount of level 5s. You run the Beast, you run the Winda, so it's just not that impossible to go through. I think Pleiades is just one of the best generic rank 5s. You could also run like Volcasaurus and stuff, but it's actually been one of the cards that I cut out the deck. So I'm going to tell you guys, if I had the ideal extra deck, I would cut probably a Diamond Direwolf for the second Winda. Abyss Dweller for a Levier because a Levier came up so much. Like, I found that there were a lot of times where I flipped the Hedgehog to search the spell. I usually search Fusion. And then I went to a Mathematician play and I would have 2 level 3s and then I would have good cards banished because of the baby dragons. And I feel like Levier is just like really important. Like, I like that card a lot. And then I would probably cut I would for sure cut Pleiades for a Armades. Like, Armades has to be in this deck. Like, it's so important. Like, Armades is just like the best. And then the last thing is that you can cut 101 or Castell for a Lavavo Chain because Lavavo Chain has obviously a lot of inherent synergy within the deck. However, like, I really like these cards. Lavavo Chain did come up, but the thing is about Lavavo Chain is I don't think there was never a time where I'm like, oh my gosh, if I had Lavavo Chain, I would have won the game because these cards are just really good too. So that's optional, but for these 3, I would for sure change it for the second Winda, Levier, and Armades. So those are the things I would change about the deck, but the rest of it was fine. Like, the synchros and stuff are definitely things I would run. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the deck profile. That's all I have to say. Sorry the video was kind of long. I just had a lot to say because I feel like there's so many things you can do in this deck, and people definitely, I think, they kind of have this like mindset that it's like Evil Swarm where you just summon Winda or Construct and you win. No, it's not like that at all. Especially against a mirror match, you really have to outplay your opponent. So yeah. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the deck profile. As I said, feel free to leave your comments down below, and I will see you later, YouTube. Bye. Hey guys, if you would like to stay in touch with me, please check out my social networking websites as well as multi-monster deals for awesome coverage and articles. But anyway, guys, I will see you later. Bye.